Good afternoon, Gossip Talk Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I'm on my own. Everyone is having a rest. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you all come back now from Easter and having a great time. And the children have gone back to school. Some are going back tomorrow, some are going back Wednesday. So my other daughter went back to school today. The other one is going back on Wednesday. So let's get back to the topic. So our topic is overcoming jealousy, tips and tricks for a healthy relationship. So in this video, I'm going to explore the topic of jealousy in a relationship and provide you with the tips and the tricks for overcoming it. And also jealousy can be really can be a very destructive force in a relationship. It can cause the feelings of insecurity. It can cause the feelings of mistrust. It can cause the feelings of anger. It can cause so many things. But if you have the right tools and mindset, you can learn how to manage your jealousy and build a healthier, more fulfilling relationship. So why does somebody start being jealous in a relationship? Mostly is our insecurities. When we are insecure with things, we feel that we are not enough. So that's where jealousy comes in. You see your spouse, they're talking to other people, they're talking to their friends, and maybe they have opposite sex friends or people from work. They talk to them over the phone. You want to know who they're talking to, and you want to know what they get up to. So I think that is some underlining of issues of the confidence as well that I'm working on. And I used to have insecurities before, but not that bad. Actually, did I have insecurities when it come to relationships? No, actually. I just let people be. The only thing that I had was confidence, lack of confidence, but I never felt that jealousy of my spouse. I always accept people for who they are. But mind you saying that when I was with my girlfriends, they would do things that would make me feel that I wasn't worthy. They were better than me. So those are other things. If you feel that you're no confidence, you need to hang out. If you lack confidence within, you need to hang out with people that can motivate you. You need to hang out with people that can help you to become the person that you want to become. So back to the relationship, the jealousy, the obsession, the insecurities, going to our spouse's phone, wanting to know their PIN numbers. Are we supposed to know their PIN numbers? For me, for my spouse, I don't think I need to know his PIN number, to be honest with you. But there are times where I just feel like I want to know his PIN number. It's like if my phone is not charged and I want to ring my daughter, or if I want to do something, or if I want to take a picture and I can't find my phone, or if I want to ring my phone, where he is, like his phone will be lying there. Something on those times where I'm in need of help is when I feel that I should know his PIN number. But I don't have to. Like my phone, everyone knows my PIN number. My children can go to my phone. Everyone knows my PIN number, but their dad, the phone, you have to use eye contact in order to get through to it. So that means you need the person. So all those things. But do you feel that do you need to know your spouse's PIN number for their phone? Do you need to go through their email? For me, I don't see that I need to go. I don't find the necessity for me to go to his email to access his email. I don't feel that way, that I need to know his access the email. I don't feel that I need to know. I need to access his phone only for emergency. If I have to get something, that's when I feel it, but I don't. Maybe before, if I wasn't into personal development, I would want to know his number, his phone, but I don't. The reason why jealousy is sometimes it's a waste of time is somebody is going to cheat on you. Whether you are jealousy or you're not jealous, they will do it anyway. So you might as well work on you and work on yourself. My pastor was preaching yesterday. He was saying sometimes we, because being jealous, it means we are looking for the enemy. We are looking to find out if our spouse are actually having a relationship with somebody else. So which means that we are battling, we are looking for the battle that it doesn't exist. Sometimes it does. Sometimes the battles it does exist, but the battles is sometimes is within us. So it's very, very important to actually work on ourselves. When you find yourself being obsessed with your spouse, it's mostly the people that are so annoying, and not all of them is the good-looking ones. The ones that you look at them, they have it all. God has given them all. They will use their looks to actually keep a woman guessing, or a woman will use their looks to actually torture a man. A man and woman, when it goes out, they will give the signals that don't exist, like men to believe that they're cheating, so they make them more jealousy. So the men actually end up being jealous for real, and that actually destroys relationship. Women do not do it. Men don't do it. If you know you are good looking, you know you God gave you everything that you have ever wanted, the body, the looks. Don't tease your spouse about your looks. Don't do it, because that it becomes a torture in somebody's head. Emotionally they're being tortured. Inside within, they're being tortured with their insecurities, worrying if you're cheating with them. But there are some people who have their own insecurities that you cannot help them. So that's where it's very, very important to actually work on yourself. Is very, very important to know who you are as a person, because if you don't know who you are as a person, then that becomes a problem. That's when the feeling of jealousy, like when you see your spouse, they're talking to somebody, you feel that, oh no, that now they want to get to know them, or there is something going on, or they fancy them. Like myself, I talk to guys, but when I talk to guys, it doesn't mean that I feel something about them. It's simply business. I never look at somebody and say, you know what, I fancy them, because I don't want no spiritual husband. So I always look at somebody, if they're good looking, but that stays there. So to me, it's all about what's on the inside of a person is greater than what's on the outside. So that's why it's very, very important to actually not comparing your life with somebody else. If you believe that your spouse might be cheating on you, it's very, very important to understand the roots. The roots of the problem is that the roots of the problem, when you look at that person's image, you think they're better than yours. Your friends, their popularity, do you think they're better than yours just because somebody is popular, they speak better than you, or sometimes they're driving a better car, or they have a better job? What's the roots of jealousy? So you have to find out, because there are some people, I'm not being funny or anything, there are some people who actually will make you feel that they are better than you. There are some people out there who have that attitude that they know they're beautiful, even if they're not beautiful. because the beauty comes from inside. When somebody shows evil, that means that beauty is no longer there anymore. So there are some people who actually use their looks to actually make somebody jealousy, or to make a man jealousy, and then if they actually real person, it becomes jealousy, and the whole thing, the relationship is destroyed. So it's very, very important to actually ask yourself where the roots, understand the roots of the problem of this jealousy. Where does it come from? Before you dive into any specific jumping into conclusion, you have to ask yourself, if you are somebody who is jealousy, ask yourself, why do I feel the way that I'm feeling? How can I overcome it? Why do I worry about my spouse leaving me, going to somebody else? Why do I feel that way? Because if you don't deal with it, it will cause you, it will leave you feeling anxious, possessive, and even you will start controlling your spouse. But it is important to remember that jealousy is often about your own fears, your own insecurities, not about the other person. So that's why it's very, very important to actually have the time to communicate with yourself and work out things. Why do you feel the way you are feeling? What is the root that is triggering? There must be something that is triggering those things. Is it something that happened from your childhood? Or is it something that happened at school or friends? Or are you actually insecure? And why do you feel insecure? So those are the things that you need to ask yourself. Or maybe you are somebody who's been cheated before. When you've been cheated before and going into another relationship, you got to understand that people are different. Just because you've been cheated before, it does not mean that this person is going to do the same. They're not going to do the same. They are different. That's why we have our names. That's why we are individual. We have names. We have our first names. We've got our second names. We've got our surnames. That means our blood is unique. So it does not mean that just because you've been cheated before, this person that you are dating, it might be, if it does happen as a pattern, it means how you select. You have to look at how you select your spouse in your relationship. Do you select them because of their looks, or do you get time to actually get to know the person? Do you get time to get to know yourself and find out what do you read, what do you want in that relationship? What kind of a person do you want to date? Or do you just date anybody that comes your way? So those are the things you might need to work out if you date anybody that comes your way, because we have our values, we have our beliefs, and we have our lives that the things that are important to us, that are our non-negotiable traits. What do you look for when you're about to go on dates, when you're about to go and join a matchmaker, or when you're about to go and put yourself out there on dating apps? What do you look for? What are you looking for? So those are the things that have to be things that you sit down and think about it, and then you speak to the universe, speak to God. For me, God is the universe. He's the creator of the universe. God is the earth. He created the earth. So if I'm doing something, I speak to the earth. I ask the earth to protect me. I tell it, earth, God created you. So you cannot turn against me, because the earth is an environment. An environment can turn against you. It can actually make you pick the wrong person when it comes to a relationship. So you have to speak to the universe. So the universe acts based on your interest. And the universe, it doesn't read yesterday, tomorrow. It knows exactly, God knows exactly your life, where it's been. The earth knows where your life has been. Universe knows where your life has been. So you don't need to tell the story of your problems. All you need is now. This is what I need. This is what I desire. So the earth can protect you, connect with somebody who actually no obsessive or jealousy or somebody that is going to be like in the past. No, it will select you, a man or a woman that is specially for you. So you can enjoy that fulfilling life. And remember, relationship requires you to work. Relationship, it doesn't require you to actually, it does not require you to actually feel jealousy. When something is making you feel jealousy, that's when you have to look at things. You have to look at yourself within. If you work on yourself within, you still feel the same way, that means your spouse might be doing something that makes you feel jealousy. So what are they doing to make you feel that way? So then that's when the power of communication comes in. That's when you have to communicate with your spouse. If you work on yourself and they're still making you feel the same way, or you're still feeling the same way, that's when you have to bring to communicate with your spouse, because that means there is something in that relationship that is making you feel that way. And when you are communicating with him or with her, you have to be specific about the behavior that you believe to be true. You have to be specific about the situation, what you believe that is triggers that jealousy, what you believe. And also your spouse will have to listen to your concerns and work with you to solve these problems by communicating openly, working together as well, and building a stronger relationship and trusting. It's very, very important to trust. When you're communicating with somebody and you're solving problems, you have to trust. You have to trust that person, and you have to believe that they are going to act on your best interest. So if you're feeling insecure, it's very, very important to let your spouse know how you are feeling. It's very, very important. And it is normal. They might be doing something that is making you feel that way, or sometimes it has nothing to do with the other person. It could be something that happened in the past, or it could be the confidence. Sometimes we do lack confidence, and when we don't work on ourselves, we are going to feel threatened. Sometimes when a man there are some businessmen who goes for days away. Sometimes you hear people saying he's gone on a business trip, but he is not called me. Do you really think he's there, or he's with somebody? People will be wondering and things like that. But if you are wondering, it's best to ask the person. When you are away, sometimes I feel like this, and that's where the traveling comes. And if you have children and you have your in-laws, when your spouse travel, sometimes what is important sometimes is you have to get to know your spouse. If somebody has businesses and you meet each other and you don't have children and they have money and their work requires them to travel, so sometimes it's very, very important to actually before you have children, to actually travel with that person. When they're traveling, travel with them. When they're working, go shopping, go look around. Spend his money, spend her money. If it's a woman that works abroad or they travel a lot, if you don't have kids and you can take some time off for work and just travel. The reason why you have to do that is sometimes you get to know what they get to do, what they go through, because when you go through that journey with your spouse, the journey of getting together, the journey of getting to know each other. It means when you get to know somebody's world, you get to know what they're feeling when they're away. You get to have a picture of what kind of a person they are when they are outside the country. So you get to experience all those things so that when they are away, you don't have to wonder, what are they up to? So it's very, very important before we start making children, because sometimes there are some people when they meet up, they don't have time to actually get to know each other. They rush into marriage, they want to get married, and they just want to have children and say, but let's make children, and they start making children and they don't know each other. And then everything, it becomes all about children, and no longer about them. So then when the relationship end up not going too well. So it's very, very important to, when you meet someone, get to know their world. If it's somebody that travels around the world, buy a ticket, go abroad with them. When they go to work, you go and do your own thing. They go and look around. They come home, can go out for meals when they come home, or maybe sometimes when somebody is abroad in the company, they will pay them to go out as with their colleagues. So just let them be, but at least you get to know the picture of what do they get up to. So you get to know your spouse, and you get to have an idea. Not worry, because if you don't know, you're gonna worry. So sometimes it's best to know. It's the little things that we take for granted when it comes to life. And the little things, if you look at it, Tony Robbins travels with his wife. And if the day they don't travel together, she knows what he does. She knows what he gets up to. She knows after the events what he gets up to. Or it might be in a hotel, maybe, because people will come in and they'll ask questions like, asking questions, or they get to know him, and so she knows. So those are the things that are important, that just get to know your spouse's world. Instead of wondering and being jealousy, what do they get up to? Or if you feel insecure, they stay on the phone all the time. Just ask questions. Because if you do ask questions, then you don't have to worry about what they get up to. So it's very, very important to actually communicate with your spouse and get to know them. And if you're feeling that you are insecure, and sometimes things can get worse, and you'll find that your spouse, they're innocent. So you might have to challenge your thoughts. You might have to challenge these negative thoughts that come your way, and the patterns. You might have to break the pattern. You might have to break so many things in life. So it's very, very, very important to not to imagine the worst. Because when we think negative, our mindset, our thoughts, they will start having this pattern where we imagine the best scenario, the worst scenario you can ever imagine, jumping into conclusion without evidence. That's what people do. They jump into conclusion without evidence. You'll find the poor guy, he's explaining himself. But then at the end of the day, the guy will be, do I have to go through this in a relationship? You'll find the poor woman, the queen, she's meant to be the queen, she's meant to be loved, she's meant to enjoy her in that relationship. You'll find that the guy is feeling insecure because of his insecurity, and the woman now has to explain herself. She has to explain, honey, nothing is going on, I'm not doing anything. Like myself, I don't have that time to date somebody where I have to keep explaining myself. I don't have the time. I really, really don't have the time. So I don't think that if I can date anybody that is obsessive jealousy, I don't think I can go that far. I wouldn't go that far, and I wouldn't want anybody's child to go through that. So you just have to communicate with your spouse. Work on your thoughts, your mindset. Work on the insecurity. Work on those insecurity. If you're feeling insecure about relationships, or you're feeling you believe that you're not enough, you have to find out into your roots. That's why it's important to go down to our roots. Find out, why do you feel that way? Why do I feel the way that I'm feeling? What's the cause? What is triggering me to feel the way that I'm feeling? Because you want to feel normal. You want to look at somebody, you want your life to be normal. So you have to find out, why do you feel the way you are feeling? Insecure. So it might be something maybe happened, you get to your childhood, there's some childhood attachment there, or there might be a lack of self-love, valuing yourself, you don't feel worthy. So maybe there might be those things. They might feel that your image is not enough, because we intend to wanting to compare our image with the other people. When we look at their eyebrows, we think that, oh, her eyebrows are better than mine. When we look at her, we think, you know what, her hair is better than mine. We see how they're dressing, they are authentic. If somebody is being authentic, we start comparing ourselves. We're like, I wish I could be like that. You cannot wish to be like somebody else. See somebody driving their car. I wish I could be like that. I could drive. I want her car. I want the life that she has. That is evil. That is a witch. That is the witch's thinking, and a witch, a man who is a witch that thinks like that. I should have the one that she has. What about the life that you have? It's not perfect. But it's beautiful, because it's specific use. So you don't need to be jealous. You don't need to be jealous. Jealousy, it can bring up abusive, it can bring up so many things in a relationship. It can destroy someone's emotions, it can destroy people's lives. So you don't need to feel that way. You don't need to feel jealousy. If you feel you're dating somebody and they make you feel that way, it's not right. It's not the right feeling to having to go through it. So that's why it's very, very important to actually discuss it with that person. They might not even they might not be the right person for you. So it's very, very important to practice self-care. Self-care is jealousy is exhausting. It is important to prioritize self-care. Take care of your physically and mentally health by getting enough sleep. Sometimes when somebody is jealous, I had this person that I know, and we were talking, they were like, this is what I do, like talking about jealousy, but it wasn't jealousy, but it was like this person believed that this person was cheating on them, so they were like checking the phone and stuff. I was like, you cannot go and check somebody's phone behind their back. You cannot do that. It's something that you cannot do, because that is a betrayal. When somebody feels betrayed, if somebody goes like here in the house, they go through my phone, sometimes they want some pictures, or sometimes they want something, or sometimes they want to help me to clear my phone, because sometimes I downloaded too many things. So sometimes they'll take my phone and they want to uninstall some other apps on my phone, or they just want to reboot my phone and clear it up. So I let them get on with it, but that is fine. But when somebody starts taking somebody's phone, and then they go to the toilet and they start going through the phone, checking messages, what's on this phone, what's on here. It's because there's lack of trust. There's lack of trust. So there's no need to actually go through somebody else's phone. And it's sad because it doesn't happen. In reality, there is so many people emotionally and physically are being destroyed through jealousy. And it is happening. It's a topic that destroys people's lives mentally. It destroys somebody's life. It leaves someone emotionally destroyed, physically. They're destroyed if they feel drained. They're drowning in this website of jealousy. It destroys people's lives. That is happening in relationships. They're being broken because of this thing of jealousy. Some people, yes, they do cheat. And some people, they do go business trips. And they'll say, oh, it's somebody that I chatted. Why would you chat to somebody if you know you are in a relationship? Why would you chat to somebody in an inappropriate way? So that's when the boundaries have to be in place. Boundaries, what can I tolerate from a man? What can I tolerate from a man? So if you feel threatened in a relationship, just try to engage in different activities that can help you to be fulfilled. Spend time with friends. Spend time with family who support you by taking care of yourself. And then you'll be equipped to handle this business of jealousy. So if you do spend time with people that believes in you and building trust in a relationship is very, 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 very important to trust and obey. The Bible says when you trust somebody, you obey them. It's like God, we have to obey his 10 commandments. And God is a man that you don't have to play mind games. In a relationship, it should be the same. If you date somebody, I can tell you today, if you date somebody that plays mind games, give them a red card. They don't need to be there in your relationship. They don't need to be with you. You cannot date a woman or a man who plays mind games because it destroyed, it will leave you. I can't even describe it. Some people's lives being stripped away by jealousy. This word jealousy. Some men believe they have to play games. I'm playing games. I wanted to think that I'm cheating on her so she can love me more. How can I love you more if you want playing mind games with me? And some girls, they would do it. They would just go along with it and say, you know what, he's a good looking guy. He has a good job. Bugger off. Just kick the guy out. Kick his butt out. Just because he has a good job, just because he is good looking, he doesn't have a right to play mind games with you. Women, same guys. If a woman plays mind games with you and they're beautiful, but they're playing mind games and you have to go through mind games, why would you have to go through mind games? Kick the woman out. Say, no, I'm not going to play the game. Don't play the game. Love is very simple. Love comes with problems. Relationship comes with problems. When problems appears in our relationship, we have to deal with the problem, not starting to create more problems. Starting to say, okay, I'm going to play mind games, so he's going to love me more, he's going to want me more. Hell no. That's not how relationship work. The more you play mind games with somebody, more it destroys that person. Because they don't feel worthy anymore. How can they be with you if they don't feel worthy anymore? They don't feel worthy when they are near you. So you don't need to play mind games. I wouldn't play mind games with somebody. If I'm dating somebody, my life is very simple and it's very straightforward. I want to be with you. That means that there won't be any mind games. Hey, sis, I love you as my big sis. I love you too, sis. I love you too. It's my big sister. She used to look after me. And she's based in Botswana. She's more like I've got my first mom, which is my dad, my grandmother, and my mom, my first mom, my sisters, my two biggest sister used to look after me. So I love you too, big sis. So why would we date somebody who plays mind games with us? It's not on the menu. You know, when you write in your profile, it doesn't say I'm looking for a woman who knows how to play games. No. When we are writing profile, those things that we write down, we are looking for somebody, this, we write our needs. We have this movie that we have in our head, and we trust and we believe that that person is going to be that person. So when we do get people that play mind games, that becomes jealousy. It creates jealousy in relationship. So that's why I'll say, guys, those who play mind games in relationship, don't play it. It destroys your woman. And you women that says, I'm going to play hard to get. I'm going to pretend to be liking somebody while I don't. Just because you want somebody to love you more, you want them to give you attention. But guess what? The good news is you can get out of that relationship. If you're not happy, get out and find somebody else. But then the bad news is the guy is the guy's thoughts and emotions will be messed up. The woman's thoughts and emotions will get messed up. So the relationship will get messed up. Nothing will be beautiful anymore. So that's why it's very, very, very important to actually accept ourselves for who we are. We don't need to pretend to be something that we are not. We don't need to go around comparing our lives to somebody else, because we are unique as we are. I see myself as unique. I don't know about you that is watching. I don't know about you, my sister. I look at you, I see you as a unique, somebody who was created by God. Somebody who is unique, who is beautiful. My sister, she's gorgeous, by the way. So somebody who is beautiful, she's got dimples when she smiles. She's got dimples in her, and my mom and my other sister, they're very lucky. So you're beautiful, you're unique. So why would you want to play games? Games are for children. Hide and seek, not for relationship. But unfortunately, grown-ups do play games. So we don't need to play those games. If you are somebody who plays the game, or you have ever had a coach telling you that to play hard to get, play games and make them jealous. That's that you just imagine the feeling when somebody is making you jealous. You don't need to make me jealous. If I want to be with you, I want to be with you anyway. So you don't need to play any mind games. So sometimes we might think that that person, they don't love us, or we have to play hard to get it, but maybe that person is going through something. So the only way to find out is to communicate with that person. And once you communicate with that person, then you are able to actually find out what is going on. But if we create more problems on top of other problems, then the relationship is not going to work. So it's very, very important to build trust and to actually set boundaries. If there are promises that have been made in that relationship, this means you have to be reliable, you have to be honest, and you have to be transparent with your spouse. And you have to, if there are promises that people have made, make sure that they are consistent in those actions, you are consistent with those actions. And if your spouse is doubting you, like I said before, have you given them a reason to actually doubt you? And have they given you a reason to doubt them? So work together with that person to build the trust. For me, in a relationship, if I have kids, are working really hard, then the last thing I want to hear is somebody doubting me. I don't want to hear that is a child. When a child behaves, they are doubting somebody. So, and that's why it's very important to set your boundaries. If there is any behavior that is triggering your jealousy, if you know that this is triggering my jealousy, is making me feel jealousy, you need to set boundaries and let your spouse know the behavior that actually triggers you. And also be realistic. Sometimes it might not be them. So that's why it's important to make sure that you work on yourself, to make sure that the battle, sometimes the battle that we fight is within us. So we might think that, oh, it's the other problem, it's my spouse that is a problem. The battle is there, it's within. The giant, the enemy that we are looking for. People go to church, I didn't cast you out, I banned you demons, I banned you the blah, blah, blah. The giant is already in it, the enemy is inside. Or the actually enemy is the people around you who never turn out like you, creating jealousy. Sometimes friends can plant things in your head. Oh, why is he behaving like that? Check his phone, maybe he's having an affair. It starts with gossip. Sometimes your spouse, they do something wrong. That's why we can never, ever, ever backstab our spouse to our friends. Never, ever backstab your spouse to your friends. If your spouse is not doing what they are meant to be doing, communicate with them. Get a coach. The reason why I'm saying you do not backstab your spouse to your friends is because tomorrow, when you forget what you told your friends are going to judge your spouse based on what you have told them. So that's why it's very, very important. If you are not sure about your spouse, get a coach. Communicate with your coach. And that's why you hear a friend telling you that I lost my spouse through a friend. Because what happens is people take their problems to their friends, and that friends take advantage, and they go and tell her, oh, your girlfriend said this about you. Is that true? And then the man feels sorry for himself. The next thing they kiss, you keep taking the problems, and they keep talking, and the woman will take the problems, and the next thing you lose your spouse. So it's very, very important to never, ever backstab your spouse with their family members. Don't tell them your problems, because the family members, they protect their child. So they will turn on you. So don't tell them anything. I don't tell my in-laws anything about their child. If I have a problem, we have a shoulder. I'm going to settle with the guy, not with his sister, not with his mother, or not with his father. His father is a very good man. He's always on my side. He always tell him why he thinks that. You do anything to them, sir, I'm watching you. So just make sure you don't go and tell the family members, because it's not going to be good. So what you do is, if there is something that you can only tell a friend that you trust. And unfortunately, those people that we trust, the friends who are champion, sometimes they are there, but sometimes they are harder to find. A true friend is harder to find. And those who are with those true friends, hold on to them. They are hard. People who are genuine, who are honest, they are hard, who are unique, they are harder to find. People who will tell you exactly the way it is. It's like myself, Desmond O'Connor is my business coach. Hi, Des. I'm sorry to say this, but Des is a very good looking guy. So when I work with him, I look out for I know his missus. I'm not going to say anything. I know his missus. So as far as I understand, his missus, Des is my family. So when we start working together, I see him as part of a Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency family. So that means his woman, she's my family as well. She's part of the family. So because he works with lots and lots of women, so I look out for him. I just have to make sure that he knows where I stand. I don't take no side. I make it very clear that I'm watching out for my family. So women have to know that he is with somebody. He's not single. He's with somebody because he's a very good looking boy. And he works surrounded by women. So that's what I do. So friends like that, they don't come very often. So when you do have a good friend, make sure that you look after that friend. And that kind of a friend who is a champion, you can then tell them anything. If you know that they protect you, they'll do anything for you. So you can tell them and ask them some advice. When you have that kind of a person, they're not going to go behind your back. If a friend comes to me and tell me about their man, or a male friend tells me about their girlfriend or partner, spouse, whatever you call it, I'm never going to go behind their back and tell their spouse this is what is going on. But I can tell you, being in that situation can be tough. It can be very, very challenging. I've been into that situation where my friends go through, because when you get married to somebody, it's a change of scene. That person they've used to live on their own. And when somebody else comes in and live with them, they have to relearn everything that they have learned from their childhood. So they have to unlearn all those things and start writing a different story. So you are bound, when you are married to somebody, or when you live with somebody, you are bound to have relationship problems. But you have to deal with them properly. There are some people who don't know how to deal with relationship problems. They all break loose. They're like, this is not what I was promised. When we said I do, I never said it for better or for worse, but I didn't think how for better or for worse, and then things get worse. So then quickly, friends, they get dragged into relationship. Family members get dragged into relationship. That's what happened with my friends. I was being dragged into their relationship. But for me, I teach people a lesson. If you marry somebody, don't even think I'm going to be the one that breaks your marriage. You break your marriage yourself. When you marry somebody, if things are not working, it does not mean that person is bad. It means there's two people that are together that need to work out how to live together, how to love each other as they promised each other. If the jealousy appears in the relationship, and then if somebody drags me in, Nomsa, this person. So for me, as a true friend, I say, you work it out. Is your girlfriend or is your wife, you're going to work it out. Because when you tell somebody the truth, that go and work out your relationship, tomorrow when they make things up, when they make up, you're not going to be part of it. But if they make up, then somebody's going to say, Nomsa said this. So yes, I'm a relationship coach, but I can't give you advice. I can only give you a professional advice. If you're my friend, you don't get advice from me. I refer you to somebody else to speak to. I will even make a phone call to make sure that you get free help. I will not give you any help. So that is very, very important to actually build trust in that relationship with your spouse. And when you build trust, and also you have to be realistic with what are the expectations? For me as a person, I have my own expectations in relationship. So there are expectations that are normal. There are expectations that don't exist, that are like fantasy. So for me, my expectations in relationship, I expect a man to respect me. I expect a man to the promises that man makes, to fulfill those promises. And when I'm saying fulfill, I'm not saying if somebody tells me that they are this, they are this, they are this, and then later on they change, I can work with that. But if somebody, they pretend to be nice and then they become abusive and they become this, they become that, I can't tolerate that. So they're the things that I cannot tolerate. I cannot tolerate men cheating on me, even though the Bible says we have to forgive. God has to deal with his own children. When a man cheats on me, I don't think I can trust them. I don't think I can have trust. I don't think that trust can be rebuilt, because what made them cheat on me, they're going to do it again, unless if they've been drowned into the Holy Spirit, and if the Holy Spirit, they born again, or they start fasting, they start asking God to give them their anointing, and then I know that they're not going to, they are going to completely change. But if they are not filled with the Holy Ghost, if they are not filled with the anointing of God, and they tell me that I have to trust them, I don't think I can trust them. I can trust them as a human being, but that means my expectations that, but people do change. We live in this world that is a very, very creepy. Some people are very, very weak. They get seduced by women very, very easy. But to me, if you cheat, that means you're going to be seduced by another one. So that means red card out. So what are your expectations in relationship? Do you want somebody to actually cheat on you so you can feel jealous, you can feel the insecurity? So what do you expect? So you have to know your expectations. You have to know what kind of a man or what kind of a woman you would like to date. Do you want to date women who play games? Then you're going to get that. Jealousy. Why do we trigger somebody to be jealous, to feel jealousy? I don't want my spouse to feel jealousy. I let it all out. If they upset me, I find out why they behave the way they behave. I don't need to start making them feel jealousy or start doing things to me. I don't need to do all that crap. No. Straight, take me as I am. I don't need to do nothing. Jesus does not need anything to actually have people coming to his kingdom. All he asks is the heart. Is the heart for me to ask a man to give? Let me share your heart. Let me share your life with you. Let me share your world with you. Is it hard to ask that a man will start making me feel jealousy, making me feel that I am not worthy, so that I'm going to love them more? I don't think so. Those, for me, I see them as the love games. relationship, it should be very, very simple. It should come with its own problems. That does not involve anybody else playing mind games. Very, very simple. I think we should keep love very, very simple. And if problems do appear, we deal with those problems. We learn the skills. We deal with the actual problems, not having to actually say, let's play mind games so we can love each other more. There are some coaches that actually give advice to say, if you want him to love you more, you can do these things. But to me, I say that is mind games, that minds that leave somebody destroyed. And also you can seek professional help if you are struggling to overcome jealousy on your own. It may be helpful to actually get help, to find a therapist that can actually help you to explore the causes of jealousy and create a strategy so you can manage. You have a system in place so you can manage, and that person, that therapist, they can provide you with guidance as you work through those challenges of jealousy in a relationship, because it destroys a person. And if we can see ourselves how valuable we are, value ourselves more, we wouldn't have to go through those times of jealousy. There are some people who date men who are abusive, women who are abusive, and then that relationship breaks. And then when they go to that relationship, it means they are now broken. So they are bound to feel jealousy because they feel that the other person treated them really bad. So this one is going to do the same. If they don't do the same, then there's going to be like, are they cheating on me? So we don't look for problems if they're not there, ladies. And men, we don't look for problems if they're not there. So those are the things that I can tell you that you have to know, communicate your wants, set boundaries, build trust in that relationship. Connect with the person properly, get to know your spouse really their well, to get to know them really, really well. When you get to know the person, it takes away the stress, it takes away everything. So get to know the person, and if you feel that jealousy, you have to get help, or you can, if you are somebody like me, I can teach myself things. I teach myself so many things. I self-educate myself. So you can learn on YouTube channels, or you can actually get some courses. There are some people, and just find out what is trigger you to feel the way you feel. Or maybe it's back to childhood. Maybe you think you felt, maybe when you were a young or whatsoever, some things were said. There are some parents who are horrible to their children. So if you were raised by those horrible parents, so you have to forgive. When you deal with the forgiveness, you end up carrying too many people, they carry too many problems. You forgive, and then you end up carrying those childhood attachments. So you have to break them. You don't need to feel jealousy, or you don't need to compare your life with anybody else. We are all unique in our own way. As long as you wear your true, authentic coat, you're okay. Know that you are loved. God loves you. Even in his Bible, he says, ask me of anything. And whatever you need, ask, it shall be given to you. Possibilities, opportunities, the beauty, you can ask the beauty. Beauty comes from inside. What's on the inside of a person is greater than what's on the outside. They might have beautiful boobies, they might have a beautiful body, but inside they're broken. They're evil. So what's the point with that beauty? So to me, beauty comes from the inside. When somebody's inside out, inside in and out, that's what I call beauty. So it's very, 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 very important to know, love ourselves and know our worthiness. And to understand that self-love, it comes from within, it starts with you. And if you cannot get along with you, how can you get along with me? So in order for me to get along with somebody else, I have to get along with me. Nonsa has to get along with the Nonsa. I cannot let people love me, value me, if I don't value myself. So don't date a woman that is going to make you feel you're not worthy. Don't date a man that is not going to make you feel that you're worthy, because you are worthy. Love comes with joy. Love comes with unconditional love. Love comes with the problem. Challenges, yes, but they don't have to, the ones that we play games in them. When we want to play games, we go and play tennis. We go and play football. We go and play all these different sports, puzzles. We can play puzzles of the real one, not to start chasing each other in relationship and playing mind games with each other. We don't do that. In God's eyes, it is forbidden. If I want a man to love me, I have to work on me, because the energy that I bring is going to make them love me for who I am. God bless everyone. And if you want to get in touch with the Ngozi Talk Shows coaches, please go to my website, www.hseia.com, and get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with any of our Ngozi Talk Shows coaches through social media. And I'm here tomorrow with Carol and Cooper, and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Live with grace, everyone.